Loki, or Darren McGarvey to a social worker, went to find out.
Last year, the government implemented the controversial minimum unit pricing for alcohol. However, alcohol sales have actually risen in the last 12 months by 1.8 million units. So have the Scottish people rejected minimum unit pricing? Let's find out.
I think if they want it, they'll still get it.
Writer and filmmaker Jack Foster, who actually worked for Russia's state-owned radio station Sputnik, that's what it's called, over in Edinburgh, which is here with this week's big rant.
Back in 2016, I took a lot of flack for taking a job with Radio Sputnik after they opened their bureau in Edinburgh.
I'm afraid, because I don't watch 24/7 news 24/7, probably like most people, but occasionally I do leave it on with the sound down, and it is the road to tyranny in a way. I mean, we've got you know, news. A rolling news, you know, just involves rolling out the same news every hour for 24 hours. And it involves the terrible thing of vox pops, which are about the most lazy thing in the world where, you know, not to try and offend media people here and the audience, we just have news reduced to people that know nothing about a subject, like, say, Brexit, commenting on it, and that's meant to represent, like, a whole nation. So there's a whole laziness going on.
Well, a few years back, authorities trialled such a scheme in Aberdeenshire. Journalist Angela Haggerty went to see how it worked out. Have a wee look.
We know in Scotland that we have higher rates of drug and alcohol-related deaths than in mainland Europe. So I've come up to Aberdeen to find out more about one surprisingly simple scheme which offered free bus travel to those experiencing these problems in order to help them access treatment. So we've heard what one professional thinks, but what do people on the street think?
At the end of the day, if they already misuse alcohol and drugs, of course they're going to misuse and abuse other benefits they're going to get. I mean, it is what it is. It's the world we live in today, no?
Citizen is a new network of people that have come together in Edinburgh to fight against overdevelopment, gentrification and social cleansing in the capital. So the massive arrival of Airbnb in the city centre, particularly in the Old Town, is affecting communities by making everything short-term lets, everything into a party flat. And this means hollowing out communities, destroying community life and changing the very nature of the neighbourhood that people are living in. A stair with 12 flats in it and 11 of them are now Airbnb. So you've got the one old lady who's the last actual resident left in what's effectively now a hotel. Public spaces, public parks become taken over for commercial activities and ruined and made unusable for residents. People are being forced out of the city centre and having to live on the periphery of the city. This has been going on for a long time, but it's got much worse in recent years. All of this adds up to people feeling like second-class citizens in their own city. The problem is that Edinburgh's been run for the rich and based on a tourist economy for too long, and people aren't going to put up with it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, anything Mike Small says is generally worth listening to.